Hello, Michael here. It's a very beautiful morning here in Penang, Malaysia. And today, I'd like to bring you views about discernment. And I'll start off with discernment as a balance, a middle path between foolishness and judgmentalism. Then I'll bring aspects of Anthroposophical and EA, Evolutionary Astrology, perspectives on discernment. Now, isn't it true that we're increasingly being inundated with information and the manipulation of information? Reliable sources are growing thin. In our integrity, we must stay true to ourselves as authors of our own lives, to guard and maintain our integrity as individuals and societies. We need to practice discernment. Now, discernment is not merely choosing between right and wrong. Okay? It's also the capacity to see clearly and to choose wisely, guided by insight, compassion, and truth. It's understanding subtleties, sensing context, and making decisions that honor deeper alignment. Foolishness lacks discernment, often leaping without looking first, and this can stem from naivety, distraction, right, or brash avoidance of complexity. Yeah, in mythology and Tarot symbolism, the fool is a sacred archetype of a beginner's soul, open to wonder, but vulnerable to chaos without awareness. Judgmentalism clings to rigid categories of either something is good or bad, smart, dumb, etc., and overcorrects. It masks fear or superiority, or senses of superiority, and sacrifices curiosity and open-mindedness for control. Being judgmental alienates others, turning insight into exclusion. Discernment is the balance, fulcrum between foolishness and judgmentalism. Discernment is not reactive. It listens, observes, and reflects. It honors the fool's openness, yet refuses to fall into unthinking enthusiasm, without being harsh or unforgiving. In EA, discernment is not merely a mental faculty. Okay? It's a soul-level capacity to perceive truth through the lens of evolutionary necessity. It's about recognizing what serves growth, what perpetuates stagnation, and what aligns with the soul's deeper intentions across lifetimes. In Anthroposophy, discernment is a spiritual capacity, an organ of perception that matures through inner development, right? Moral striving, and conscious engagement with the world. It's not just about making good choices. It's about perceiving the truth of a situation in light of the spiritual reality. Anthroposophy regards discernment as moral intuition. In Anthroposophy, moral intuition is not a fixed code or external rule. It's a living spiritual capacity that arises from the individual's inner connection to the moral world order. Rudolf Steiner describes it as the highest form of ethical life, okay? The ability to perceive what is morally right in a given situation through direct spiritual insight. Now, he had special capacities, but it is something that we can all find within ourselves. Now, Steiner described discernment as part of the path toward moral imagination, moral intuition, and moral technique. 3 stages of ethical development. Discernment begins when the soul learns to listen inwardly, not to impulse or habit, right, but to the quiet voice of conscience, shaped by spiritual insight. It's cultivated through meditative practice, self-observation, and living thinking, a kind of inner attentiveness that sees beyond appearances. Anthroposophy teaches that the etheric heart, a spiritual organ distinct from the physical heart, develops over time as we engage in acts of love, sacrifice, and moral clarity. This heart becomes a perceptive organ, allowing us to sense the moral quality of people, actions, and ideas. Discernment, then, is not just mental, right? It's moral clairvoyance. Steiner emphasized that true discernment includes recognizing the destiny relationships we carry with others. It's not just about what's right for me, but what's right in the weaving of karma and shared evolution. In this view, discernment is deeply relational. It asks, what is being asked of me in this moment in service to the whole? Discernment creates the good, the true, and the beautiful, and is healing for the individual and community and towards destiny. Anthroposophy acknowledges that discernment is often forged in trial, through encounters with temptation, doubt, and moral ambiguity. These are not failures, but initiations. They refine our capacity to distinguish between what is called Luciferic, too idealistic, for instance, and Ahrimanic, too materialistic forces, and to find the Christic middle path, the path of freedom, love, and truth. Now, Pluto's placement in the natal chart is central in EA. It reveals the soul's evolutionary journey, its core desires, and unresolved karmic patterns. Discernment arises as the soul learns to distinguish between compulsive repetition and transformative choice. The South Node shows where we've been, familiar patterns, gifts, and traps. Discernment here means recognizing when comfort becomes limitation. The North Node points toward growth. Discernment is required to navigate the tension between the known and the necessary, especially when the path forward feels unfamiliar or risky. And many of us feel this much of the time. Virgo represents the sacred art of refinement, discerning what is useful, what is pure, what is in service. Its archetype of the priestess separating wheat from the chaff, while Pisces, its polarity, offers spiritual discernment, sensing what is real beyond illusion, what is compassionate without enabling. Together, they teach that discernment must balance clarity with mercy. To the degree we do not discern or we ignore our discernment, we set up shame and guilt to live within us, however unconscious it may be. Regarding transits, progressions, and initiations, we can begin looking at when Pluto, Uranus, or Saturn transit key points in the chart. Discernment is often tested when this happens. These periods may strip away false identities, reveal shadow motives, and demand radical honesty. EA sees these moments not as punishments, but as initiations, opportunities to refine the soul's compass and choose evolution over repetition. For the EA astrologer, discernment is devotional, really. It's the daily act of asking, does this choice serve my soul's evolution? Not just, is this good or does this feel right? But is this aligned with the deeper arc of my becoming? This view of discernment might resonate as a kind of sacred sorting, right? Where legacy, humility, and transformation are weighed not by the intellect, but with heart.